Hey, what's up, Survivor fans? This is Agent Lex coming at you with a new type of video today. I unfortunately had to take a break from my usual rank down videos because I'm completely new to the whole YouTube scene. I've never had to put a series on together for YouTube before, so I'm still kind of getting used to it and getting a feel for it. And one of the things that I'm currently struggling with right now are the copyright issues that CBS has emailed at me, and I've had to take a few of my videos down that I've been working on. It is something I'm researching. It is something I'm learning more about before I proceed to take my next step to be able to get my videos back on, because I don't want to quit the Survivor season rank down series. It's a project I'm really enjoying and I want to keep doing. But in the meantime, I thought what we could do is just do a new video, and that's talk about the upcoming season, Game Changers. So this is a season that's a complete returnee cast, and I thought it might be fun to just kind of talk about the upcoming players and just give my 2 cents on them, what I thought about them the previous times they've played, and what I think they're going to do in the upcoming season that they're going to play on. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers here, so if you don't know the full cast yet and you don't want to learn about it just yet, you might want to hold off on this video for now. Starting with arguably the most popular name on the cast, Ozzy. I know a lot of people tend to like Ozzy because of the big challenge threat he was and how in his element he was out living outside. But I personally don't very much care for Ozzy, and I feel like he's kind of the new CBS Boston Rob, in that it's like, how many more seasons are we going to give this guy until he finally wins? You know, like this is his 4th time playing, and I think in all 3 of his previous seasons, Ozzy's demonstrated a very poor sense of how to play the game. His biggest kryptonite seems to be he's very emotional and an incredibly large sore loser, to the point where he practically commits game suicide. We all saw his bad attitude on the jury after he got voted out for Fans versus Favorites. He made so many terrible decisions and moves when he was blindsided in South Pacific, so much as ostracizing himself from the entire group, which is stupid Survivor gameplay, and revealing he had an idol just out of spite. And and a lot of people forget, but he actually got kind of mopey in Cook Islands as well when he was blindsided on the Cecilia vote. He's kind of a bad player, and I kind of got over him after Fans versus Favorites, and he's coming back again, so I can't say I'm too excited to see him, and I don't think he's going to do very well in the Survivor game. Next we have Debbie from Kaoh Rong. Personally, I feel like Debbie's kind of only on this roster because she's a quirky personality. I don't really recall her having a very big strategic moment, and that's not to say she isn't strategic, because she definitely is, but she wasn't really well known for her gameplay so much on her season, so much as she was just kind of a quirky girl. You know, she was a very quirky woman, and she has a very unique individual personality, but I just don't find that to be very benefiting to her here in this season. I don't think she's going to do very well, and I think she's going to get a very short run. So next up, Brad and Troy. I'm just going to talk about both of them at the same time, because both of the points I have for them are kind of similar. I don't know what it is in Troyzan and Brad Culpepper that CBS loves so much that they feel that they have to continuously keep bringing these two guys back. Because I remember them both being very unlikable on their first seasons, and CBS brought them back for Second Chance, where even the fans didn't seem to care for them very much because neither of them got voted back on the show. And yet CBS seems to want to overlook all that and bring them back anyway for Game Changers. I don't know why. Maybe they'll surprise us and show us what they are made of when they come back, but I'm not holding my breath for them. I don't know why CBS is just so insistent on bringing them back over and over and over again. Next we have Andrea. Andrea is a person who, if you put a gun up to my head, I would probably say she's going to be the winner of this season. Not because I find her to be the most strategic player on the roster, but or the smartest or anything like that. I just think she's got a personality that's just under the radar enough that she's not going to ruffle enough feathers and she's not going to really stand out and be a big target. But I do think she is smart and strategic enough to carry herself to the end and win when she needs to, especially given the personalities that she's working with this season. I remember thinking very highly of Andrea in Redemption Island, but then when Caramone came out, she kind of sort of rubbed me the wrong way, and I didn't really like her so much that time around, even though she definitely was more strategic. So I can't say I'm very super stoked to have her back, but we'll see. We'll see what version of Andrea we get when she comes back. Next is Cirie, another fourth-time player. Again, she was a season. I remember Cirie being a player I really, really liked the first time she played in Exile Island, and then in Fans vs. Favorites, just completely destroying everything I liked about her. I actually found her to be very cocky and arrogant in her second season, and then her third season she was kind of indifferent. I've had kind of a rocky, weird feeling with Cirie. Just watching her play and getting to watch her play a fourth time. I don't know. I feel very exhausted by her. I know there's a ton of people excited that she's coming back to play again, and I think she can do very well in the game. I don't know. Cirie is the same. I feel the same I do with Cirie as I did with Boston Rob and Rupert when they were announced that they were coming back for their fourth time, in that I'm just exhausted with her. I liked her great in one season. Now I'm just tired of her. I'd rather her not come back. Next we have Ty. Interestingly enough, Ty is a player that I am looking I'm more interested to see how Ty is going to do in the physical competitions than the actual strategy aspect of the game. We really have a really strong roster of strategic players this season, and I think Ty is just going to kind of blend into the crowd with his type of strategy that he plays. But what I really liked about Ty in Kaôh Rōng was how he was able, despite his appearance and his size and his age, he was really able to hold his own against some really strong athletes out in Kaôh Rōng. And I think that the athleticism in the cast has increased a lot. So I'm really interested to see how Ty is going to do in regards to that. But I don't think Ty... I think the biggest issue with Ty is his ability to communicate. Despite being very smart and arguably very athletic, his ability to communicate just didn't come off as very good to me, which I think is why he lost so miserably in the final tribal council at Kaôh Rōng. But I don't know. I wasn't really, for whatever reason, when he was announced to be coming back, I wasn't super excited or stoked to see that. And I think the reason's because this is a very Kaôh Rōng heavy cast. And I don't know, I would love to see Ty play again. As much as I would love to see Ty play again, I just felt like it was maybe a little too soon for him to be back right now. But we'll see. Sandra. don't know exactly if I'm super happy to see Sandra come back. Mainly because, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, the if I'm being truly honest with how I feel about Sandra, it is that the thing I like most about her is that she is the two-time winner of Survivor. That's why I love Sandra. I like her personality. I think she's a great player, and you know, she's fine. She's great. I can totally see why people love her the way they do. But compared to people like my top 10, 20 favorite survivors of all time, there's not really much I can say for Sandra about why I like her. And the best thing I do like about her, and the thing that really sticks out about her to me, is the fact that she's won the game twice. I don't see her doing it a third time. I just don't, because I think that fact is just too, it's too big, and people are not going to overlook it, and I think it's going to make her an enormous target. She might do well. I don't see her doing well. I think she is going to get a short run, unfortunately, but even if she does get a good run and she does do very well, I just do not see her getting to the end at all. I just don't. And if she does, I think it's even less likely that she's going to win. I don't see Sandra winning, being a three-time perfect game player. I just don't see it happening, and it's really unfortunate because, again, that's kind of the only thing about Sandra that I like. So the fact that she's coming back and now that title is at risk, I'm not super happy about it, and I don't know. I'm sure I'm gonna love her on the show. I'm sure she's gonna play great, and we're gonna love her as much as we did in Pearl Islands and Heroes versus Villains. But it's really gonna see her lose that title of perfect record. So that's the thing that's gonna hurt most for me. Haley and Sierra. Again, I'm doing them at the same time because my points on them are kind of similar, and I'm interested to see them play because they were not the most memorable castaways in Worlds Apart, and we've had a lot of awesome players emerge from that. So I am kind of looking forward to seeing more of Haley and Sierra and seeing what they can bring to the Survivor table. I am a little leery about it because this is the Dirty 30 cast. This is the cast in Survivor that is argued to be one of the just meanest groups of people and most unlikable group of people ever. I'm a little bit cautious about it, but I am being optimistic that we are going to maybe see some moments come from these girls that didn't really get a lot of attention their first round around. Next is Sierra. I'm really indifferent towards Sierra, I'll be honest. Again, I know she's got a very loyal fan base, and I know there's a ton of people excited to see her come back, but I don't know, just something about her just doesn't really strike any interest in me. Like, she voted out her mom, okay. Rockjaw in Blood versus Water. Yeah, cool moment, and I'm really happy we got to see that because we hadn't seen that for since season 4, and all that tells me about her is that she decided to make a move too late, a little too late. As awesome as the moment was, and as happy as I was to get it, I mean, it just made me not really like her very much because it's like, yeah, she made a decision way too late, and now and she was on the wrong end of the rock draw, so she could have made the move a little earlier. So, whatever. Sierra's just, again, a player that I'm very indifferent about. Maybe third time's a charm, and something will happen that'll make me see what the rest of the Survivor fan base see in her. But Sierra, don't really like her, don't really hate her, just kind of whatever, and kind of whatever about her coming back. Malcolm. I like Malcolm. I liked him a lot in Philippines, and I really liked him a lot in Caramon. but that's because he brought the one interesting good moment that happened in the entire season of Caramon. I'm happy Malcolm's coming back. Um, if I had to nitpick about it, I would say, I feel like maybe it's a little too early. I feel like he's, he was, we haven't seen him in 25, and it's like 8, 9 seasons now later, and they're bringing him back, and I don't know. This is his third time playing, and it's in such a short time span that I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm getting a little sick of him. I'm still happy. I still feel happy that he's coming back. Because I like him that much. But I am getting to that point where maybe like the Ceres and the Boston Robs, where I'm just feeling a little bit tired of him, and I kind of don't. I'm liking him a little bit less because of it. Michaela. I'm very happy that Michaela is coming back. Unlike most players, I don't have this feeling of, wow, I'm like, it's so soon. Like, I'm kind of sick of her. Like, she just had her moment, and now they're bringing her back for, like, more of her. Like, I kind of got sick of it. I don't feel any of that with Michaela. I'm actually very excited she's coming back. I'm very excited to see what she's going to do her second time around, because I thought she was awesome in Millennials versus Generation X. She's shown that she's athletic, she's a go-getter, she's very smart and strategic and can plan ahead, like very, very long term, and do it very well. And she's a good social player, and that's the big key thing that I love about Michaela, and I think is really going to benefit her here, is she's dealing with an entire different group of people than in Millennials versus Generation X. These aren't like young, personalities that she can like click with instantly. This is like a range of different personalities. I think that's really going to help her out, and I think that's really going to. I think she's going to do very well in this season. And I really hope she does. Like, I really am excited to see Michaela back. Tony. On the flip side of the coin. My biggest problem with Tony is I don't get it. I don't get Tony. People call him one of the best players, one of the smoothest winners, one of the greatest winners ever on the show. He just nailed it down strategically, no flaws, king of Survivor. And I think Tony's game was terrible. And I'm sure I will touch up on it when I do Brains versus Bronze versus Beauty on my rank down video. But long story short, Tony's game is littered with bad decisions and bad gameplay. And he was still able to come out on top, sure, yeah, but there was a lot of, but he messed up a lot. And I really don't see him doing well this season. I'll be shocked if Tony does well this season, because I don't think he's going to get that lucky twice. Honestly, I am not going to care, because I don't like Tony at all. I don't like him as a player. I don't like him as a person. Unless he's, he's one of the fortunate players who just finds the hidden immunity idol back to back, over and over and over and over and over again. Or he lucks himself out into a merge and just wins challenges. I'll be shocked if Tony gets anywhere close to the end of the game, because I don't find him to be a good player, and I don't find him to be likable, and he does not have the added benefit of the players don't know who he is. They don't know the type of game he plays, so they're going to be very aware of that. I don't think he's going to be able to hide the player that he was, and I think that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, and I think he's going to get a very short run. I really do. Aubrey. Again, not to piss anyone off, but I just didn't get all the Aubrey love. I like her. I think she was, she had some funny things to say once in a while, but when the when the sites were exploding because Michelle beat her, I just didn't really get it. And again, that's a point I'm going to touch up with in my rank down video. But long story short, guys, I just, she was a sometimes funny girl, but I didn't find her to be any more or less deserving of that final win, of the win, than anyone else up there did. And I don't know. I'm pretty indifferent about her coming back. Again, I like her, and I think we're going to see a lot of that same quirky girl personality that she brought into Kaoh Rong. But whatever. Again, I feel like this is a very Kaoh Rong heavy cast, and it would have been cool to have someone from another season come back and play. Caleb. Caleb kind of blends into the same as I feel about Sierra and Haley. Didn't really know much about him. I will say I am interested in seeing Caleb play a second time, because we saw so little of him in Kaoh Rong when he had the potential to do really well, and he's a Big Brother contestant. I hate Big Brother. I will never watch Big Brother, and the big reason is because I think their main goal in casting is to find like some really awful, nasty, shitty people. And so far, Hayden really surprised me because I really liked him, and Caleb was surprising me because I really liked him, and I expected to hate both of them a lot. But I am interested to see him play back a second time, possibly do really well, and see more of him, and see if my liking for him continues, or if he turned out to be that weird stalker guy that he was when he played Big Brother. Don't know. So yeah, I would say I'm interested in Caleb coming back to some extent. Sure. Sarah. I don't know, guys. Sarah, I liked her up until she got a little arrogant towards the end, and she was so appalled that people would have the audacity to question like what her motives were in a game of Survivor where you're playing for $1 million, and she kind of got so offended by that. But this is this is a whole new ball game for Sarah, and I do think she is very smart, and I do think she will learn from that mistake that she made her first season. So I will say I am interested to see her play a second time, and having learned from that and adjusting it to her game. And we'll see. Again, it was really easy for me to like Sarah up until she's kind of let the power go to her head. So, will we get that again? I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to find out. Zeke. I liked Zeke. I did think he was very good narrator. I loved a lot of his confessionals about how he learned so much from the game of Survivor, and how he appreciated Brett's generation, paving the way for his generation. He had a lot of confessionals that I liked a lot, and I always enjoyed hearing from him. But like Sarah, he kind of let the power go to his head a little bit, and he got a little bit more aggressive with the moves he wanted to make in his first season. So, again, Zeke's smart. I do think he's going to learn from his mistakes. And I will say I'm interested to see him play a second time. It's kind of weird, though, because I actually kind of questioned how much I did like Zeke at the very end when he started getting a little bit more aggressive and demanding, and was actually putting people down at tribal councils. So I don't know. So I will say I'm interested to see him play again, just to see if my weird liking, maybe disliking for him continues the second time around. JT. It's going to be interesting because JT's played. This is going to be JT's third time. We don't know if and I don't know, he's had two completely different stories that are in no way alike in his first season and Heroes versus Villains. And you know, I don't know what to expect from JT. But it's weird because I didn't really care about him that much in his first two seasons. So even though it's really, just thinking about it, it is kind of interesting to see what's going to happen the third time he plays. I can't say I'm very excited to see him come back. So I don't know. It's this weird, like, oh, this will be interesting, but I'd rather someone I like come back kind of feeling towards JT. So I don't know. It's weird and deeply confusing about seeing him come back a second or third time. And the last one is Jeff Varner. Jeff Varner was a top 10 favorite player of mine long before he came back for second chances because I found him to be funny, I found him to be smart, and I was really upset because it didn't seem like anyone really appreciated Jeff like I did, but mainly because that cast in Australia was so good, it was kind of easy for him to get lost in the shuffle at that point in time of the show. But I always really liked Jeff, and my liking for that only solidified when I saw him come back for second chances. And I was really disappointed that he was screwed over by a tribe shuffle when he looked like he had the potential to do really well. So, on one hand, I am so excited that Jeff Varner is back for a third season. Unfortunately, it's on this cast. I do not care for a lot of the people on this cast. And a lot of these, I think the biggest thing that is going to be an obstacle for Jeff is he is an old school player with a lot of new school players. And I do think that's going to hurt him. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, Tim, he did fine in second chances. He did awesome in second chances. Yes, he did. I love that Jeff is able to take pages out of his playbook, and adapt them to this whole new generation of Survivor strategy. I just don't think it's going to come through this time. And I only say that because the players that I am the most excited about coming back and playing for generally don't do very well. It happened for me in All-Stars, Fans versus Favorites, Heroes versus Villains, and I expect it to happen again in Game Changers. So as much as I love Jeff Varner coming back, there is a small part of me that wishes he came back under different circumstances. Because I don't think in this particular group, in this particular cast, he's going to be able to do well. And I think that's going to hurt him, and I think he's going to get another early boot. I hope I'm wrong. I want him to win the million. He's the one I want to win. He's not necessarily the one I think is going to win. But, yes. It's, again, very deeply confusing because I like Jeff. I just wish he wasn't coming back now. So, you've probably noticed my feelings for this cast overall is not very great. There's there's three players that I am actually very, very excited to see come back. Michaela, Jeff Varner, and Zeke. Everyone else I'm kind of like iffy about. Do I think that it's going to remain that way by the end of the season? Absolutely not. We've had, in my opinion, 3 amazing seasons back to back to back. So I absolutely think that this cast has the potential to be great and do great things. But because of just how I remember them from their first seasons, I'm not super stoked about most of them. But we'll see. I've had plenty of players come back and change my mind seeing them play again, both in terms of liking them and disliking them, and vice versa. So we'll see. And again, I do plan on getting those rank down videos back up and running again. So stay tuned for those. I hope you enjoy what I have to say. I always love talking about Survivor. I always love exchanging Survivor opinions. Do not be shy, please. Let me know what you have to say, and I'll see you guys in the next video.